My wonderful brothers and sisters, I've come across one of the greatest counsels that an apostle of the Lord actually gave. And this one really touched me because he was actually addressing the young people, that is, the young men and young women in the church. And he had visited one of the wards, I think. And this is what he had to say while he was advising them. And one of the greatest advice that he gave was that they need to choose eternal families over modern day idols. Now, eternal families, like members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, one thing is that we believe families can be eternal. When couples are actually sealed in that covenant of matrimony, even the everlasting covenant of marriage, that they go to the temple and they are sealed together. What happens is that if they are faithful with each other, they will still be husband and wife in the world to come. Because that is what the Lord had designed. That is what the Lord had designed, that families can be forever together, forever. That is only if they abide, and they are faithfully in the covenant. And that is what it is. So the Lord has always provided a way on how these families can be taken care of. And one of the greatest things that the apostle there is advising young men and women is that they need to ensure they actually put focus on that. In other words, if you choose a spouse, ensure that you focus on marrying that spouse into the temple. And I remember some of my mission companions some years back. And I remember this companion of mine, Elder Schroeder, who told me that his girlfriend gave him a condition that he is not going to be married to somebody who has never served a mission. And it forced Elder Schroeder to go serve his mission. So when we were serving a mission, we were with him as companions in Jinja, Uganda. When I asked him, what exactly, and he said, to be honest, I came on a mission because of my girlfriend. But the good thing is that that mission changed Elder Schroeder, really changed him. And he really appreciated that the girlfriend compelled him to go serve his mission. I don't know if they finally got married. I do not know, because most of them were receiving Dear John's letters. So I don't know exactly if they got married, but it was a good thing to be compelled to go serve a mission. And this is something that the apostle here is actually advising our young men and women. And without further ado, let me I invite you so that you can see this. Please welcome.
What idols are when we study the Old Testament, but President Kimball taught us that modern idols can be titles, huge homes, boats, credentials, degrees. Now they can be good things, but when we worship them, when we give them first priority, then they can become idols. David O. McKay. Now he was the prophet from 1951 to 1970. He taught us many things, as I said, prophets always do. What I remember is what he taught about home and family. It was important then, but it's much more important now. Many people during the time he was the prophet lived on the land. They were farmers. They were just beginning to go with big organizations, big companies. And he, as the prophet, could see that many of them were elevating their desire to have a high position over the blessing of having a family. He taught no success in life can compensate for failure in the home. He wasn't saying he didn't want us to have good jobs. He was saying, let's not make them an idol and sacrifice our families. Don't create idols. Don't create making a lot of money or a lot of success above families. Keep your goals on eternal families and returning to God the Father and Jesus Christ.
Found that now, that we need to keep our goals to our families, not to create idols out of things that do not matter. And I tend to see a lot of people, people want to make more money. They want to build bigger businesses. Others even are focused on getting a better job. And at the end of it all, they forget the essence of what a family is all about. Forget the essence of what a family is all about. And this is what the apostle is actually urging, that the greatest thing you can ever have is your family. Greatest thing you can ever have is your family. I remember sometimes back visiting or attending some funerals at our home areas. Most of the funerals I've attended. What happens is that when they read the deceased eulogy, they will never say that he left a job of this much salary, or he left this of this much, or he left this of this much. But one thing they will always read is that he left a wife, a widow, with this number of children. That is what they will always read. They will not say that he left houses, or he left cars, or he left lands. They will always focus on the family, and they will tell them that he left one widow. He's being survived by one widow and maybe 5 children, or maybe 2 children, or 3 daughters and 3 sons, and all that. Because that is one indicator that shows that families are very important. Very, very important. And our focus should be like, we need to put more focus and emphasis on our families, because that is what the Lord has given us. That is what the Lord has given us. And sometimes it is so strange when you hear somebody saying that I don't think I'll marry. I don't think I marry. I don't think I need to marry. Some people have even resorted in just keeping dogs in their families. And when you ask them, why don't you? And you'll be like, dogs are okay. Dogs will obey me. Dogs, they don't talk back. You wonder how these people are actually wired. But you see, that is what the Lord so requires of us, that we must have our families, and we must take good care of our families. And that is the key thing in this life. Otherwise, thank you very much. God bless you. Looking forward to see you again next time.